Ladies and gentlemen, there is a truth about human connection that often escapes our notice. Loyalty is not tested in the moments when we are present, when all eyes are upon us, and words can be carefully chosen. Loyalty reveals itself in the spaces where we are absent, in the unseen rooms where our name may be spoken without us to defend it. It is in those quiet moments, away from our presence, that the mask slips and the essence of a person comes forward. To understand the reality of who stands with you and who merely stands near you, one must learn to observe not just what people say to your face, but how they hold your image when you are not there. The human personality is a vast stage, and on this stage, many choose to perform rather than to live authentically. What you see on the surface is not always the essence of what lies beneath. Words can be rehearsed, gestures can be imitated, and kindness can be staged. But the mask eventually grows heavy, and the truth begins to slip through in fragments. Contradictions reveal the mask, because no matter how carefully one crafts an image, the unconscious self is stronger than the performance. It leaks through tone, behavior, and reaction. If you pay attention, you will see the cracks that betray what is false. When someone wears a mask, their words and their actions seldom align. They may speak of loyalty, but when loyalty demands sacrifice, their absence exposes them. They may present themselves as confident, but the smallest challenge provokes insecurity that contradicts the role they play. The mask is designed to deceive others, but it cannot silence the authentic impulses that come from within. Sooner or later, a mismatch appears, like a slip in dialogue that reveals the script is not real. These contradictions are not accidents. They are signals from the deeper self that refuses to remain hidden forever. You might notice this when someone's enthusiasm does not match their tone, when their praise feels hollow, or when their expressions carry subtle signs of resentment disguised as encouragement. A smile may appear, yet the eyes betray disinterest or envy. Their words may flatter, but the energy behind them carries a quiet hostility. This duality confuses the conscious mind at first, but if you watch without judgment, the patterns become visible. The mask can only hide the surface. The contradictions reveal the truth beneath. Consider how a person behaves across different circumstances. In moments of ease and advantage, they may seem generous and reliable, but in times of struggle or inconvenience, they grow distant, indifferent, or even hostile. Such contradictions between their projected image and their actions under pressure are the clearest signals of inauthenticity. The genuine self is stable across situations. The false self collapses when the stage lights dim. What is real does not need performance. What is fake requires constant adjustment, and in that adjustment, mistakes are made, exposing the mask. Another revealing space is how they treat different people. Someone who flatters those above them while dismissing those they deem below them displays a fracture in character. Respect that is conditional is not respect at all. It is opportunism dressed as virtue. The mask of politeness cannot conceal the underlying contempt that eventually leaks out in contradictions. Observe not just how they treat you, but how they treat others when they believe no one is watching. These shifts are not random. They are the truth revealing itself despite the disguise. Contradictions are also clear in promises. The fake will offer more than they can give, but when the time comes to act, their excuses replace their commitment. Words without follow through expose the hollowness of the mask. The deeper reason is that the false self is concerned with appearance, not substance. It thrives on being perceived a certain way, but it lacks the inner stability to sustain the image over time. Promises, therefore, become another stage where the mask inevitably breaks. Silence is another form of contradiction. Someone may claim closeness to you, yet when you face difficulty, their silence echoes louder than their words ever did. The absence of presence contradicts the illusion of care they work to build. What they cannot say, what they choose not to do, speaks volumes. The mask is often loud, but the truth reveals itself in what remains unspoken and undone. In every relationship, contradictions accumulate like subtle clues. Alone, they may seem small and dismissible. A careless phrase here, an awkward reaction there, but over time, they form a pattern too precise to ignore. The genuine may stumble, but their essence remains consistent. The false may imitate for a while, but contradictions inevitably scatter behind them like footprints in sand. It is not about catching someone in a lie. It is about recognizing the dissonance between their surface and their core. To see the contradictions that reveal the mask, one must learn the art of patience and observation. Do not rush to trust the role someone plays. Instead, let time test their consistency. The unconscious cannot be disguised forever. What is real will align harmoniously. What is false will unravel through contradictions. And it is through these very fractures that the truth, uninvited but undeniable, steps forward to be seen. Every human interaction is an exchange, a silent flow of energies that often communicates more than words ever can. We are not merely minds and bodies meeting one another. We are fields of presence, resonating, clashing, or harmonizing. To understand who is genuine and who is false, one must learn to listen not only to speech or gestures, but to the energy that lingers after every encounter. Energy acts as a mirror. It reflects back to you the true essence of the other person, regardless of the mask they wear. Words may lie, but energy does not. When you are in the company of someone authentic, you feel an expansion inside. The air seems lighter, your thoughts clearer, your spirit uplifted. Even in silence, their presence communicates safety, acceptance, and truth. They do not need to entertain you or prove themselves, because their energy is aligned with sincerity. In contrast, the presence of someone false leaves behind a residue of heaviness. After interacting with them, you may feel strangely exhausted, doubtful, or diminished. It is as though their energy has drained something vital from you. This is the first reflection of the mirror. How you feel after someone leaves tells you more about them than what they said while they were with you. Energy carries with it the vibrations of intention. A person may smile and say the right words, but if beneath that surface lies envy, resentment, or manipulation, your inner being will detect it. You may not have evidence in the logical sense, but you will sense dissonance. The conscious mind may dismiss this as paranoia, but the unconscious registers the truth. The mirror of energy reflects what is hidden from the eyes. That uneasy feeling, that quiet discomfort, is not your imagination. It is the echo of their real intention brushing against your awareness. Over time, patterns of energy become impossible to ignore. Some people consistently uplift, leaving you inspired to pursue your path, while others consistently deplete, leaving you restless or insecure. This is not about blame or judgment, it is about resonance. Your energy field recognizes harmony or disharmony and mirrors it back to you as emotion, intuition, or bodily sensation. To observe this without denying it is to see clearly. Fake people can manage appearances for a while, but they cannot disguise the vibration they carry. Their energy betrays them long before their actions do. Notice how your body reacts in the presence of different individuals. With the authentic, you may find yourself breathing more deeply, feeling more relaxed, more like yourself. With the inauthentic, your body tenses, your chest tightens, or your mind feels unsettled. These physical cues are the language of energy, the mirror reflecting truth in sensations rather than in words. To ignore them is to invite confusion. To trust them is to step closer to clarity. Energy also reveals itself in silence. Observe how comfortable or uncomfortable a person is in stillness. A genuine soul does not fear silence. They allow it to breathe, to exist without tension. A false soul often fills silence with unnecessary words or nervous gestures, because stillness threatens to expose them. In those unspoken spaces, the mirror of energy reflects back their discomfort, showing you what they strive to conceal. It is important to recognize that energy, like a mirror, also reflects aspects of yourself. Sometimes when you feel drained by someone, it is not only their falseness but also your own boundaries, or lack of them, that create the effect. The mirror invites you to ask, why do I allow this exchange to continue? What in me is being reflected through them? This does not excuse their insincerity, but reveals that every encounter is both a lesson about others and a revelation about yourself. The interplay of energies also shows in how people respond to your growth. When you shine, when you step into your potential, authentic souls feel illuminated by your light. They rejoice as though your growth is their own. Fake souls, however, feel overshadowed. Their energy shifts, their support turns lukewarm, their presence carries subtle tension. They cannot mask it for long because energy mirrors what lies in the unconscious: joy or envy, solidarity or competition. The mirror is most honest when you step back and let time do its work. Energy does not lie, but it reveals itself gradually, like ripples in water after a stone has been thrown. If you allow yourself to watch without rushing, you will see clearly who feeds your spirit and who feeds on it. The mask may dazzle, words may seduce, but the energy of a person reflects their truth as surely as a mirror reflects an image. And if you learn to trust what you feel in their presence, you will rarely be deceived. Loyalty is not proven in the bright light of presence, when eyes are watching and gestures can be rehearsed. It is tested in the unseen, in the quiet rooms where your name is spoken without you to defend it. In absence, the mask loses its audience, and people reveal who they truly are. Loyalty in absence is one of the purest measures of authenticity, for it cannot be performed for your approval. It is either there or it is not, and the mirror of silence reflects the truth. When someone is genuine, they hold your name as carefully as they would hold their own. They do not change their tone when you are not around, nor do they adapt their loyalty depending on who is listening. Their respect for you is not conditional on your presence. It is woven into their character. They do not need you to hear them defending you in order to defend you. They do not need recognition to remain loyal, because their loyalty is not a transaction. It is an extension of who they are. In contrast, the false reveal themselves quickly in absence. They may praise you when you are near, showering words of support, but when the room shifts and you are no longer present, their language changes. Subtle criticisms creep in, disguised as jokes or honest opinions. Secrets you entrusted to them slip out in whispers. Sometimes it is not even direct betrayal, but indifference, the choice to remain silent while others misrepresent you. Silence in this context becomes complicity. Their mask is held up only when you are close enough to admire it. Once you are gone, the mask no longer serves a purpose. This is why absence is such a powerful revealer. A person may perform kindness and loyalty when you can see it, but they cannot sustain that performance in the unseen. The unconscious breaks through in the words they choose, the alliances they form, the way they position themselves in conversations about you. What is hidden emerges in absence, and it is here you discover whether someone's bond with you is genuine or counterfeit. Consider how people respond when others attack or criticize you in your absence. The authentic step forward not because they expect thanks, but because they feel a natural responsibility to truth. They may not agree with everything you do, but they will not allow your essence to be distorted. They see your humanity and they guard it. The false, however, either join in the attack or pretend neutrality while secretly enjoying the tearing down of your image. Their silence is not born of peace, but of quiet betrayal, a relief that they are not the target, a hidden delight in seeing you diminished. Loyalty in absence also appears in the way people carry your trust. Every secret shared, every vulnerable confession, is a test. Do they honor it when you are not there, or do they use it as currency in other relationships? A fake soul treats intimacy as information to be traded. A genuine soul carries it like sacred ground, untouched by curiosity or gossip. You will rarely know directly when this happens, but over time, the truth finds its way back. Words have a strange way of traveling, and what is spoken in your absence often echoes into your awareness, revealing who stood for you and who stood against you. What makes loyalty in absence so profound is that it exists outside performance. Presence allows for masks, but absence allows for essence. You cannot watch every interaction, you cannot control every narrative, and you cannot monitor every word. This is precisely why the people who remain loyal in absence are so rare and so valuable. They protect without being asked, They remain steady without being seen, and they uphold you without requiring reward. Their loyalty is woven into their being, not into circumstance. To detect loyalty in absence, pay attention to the ripples that return to you. Notice what others tell you about how your name is spoken when you are not there. Listen for the inconsistencies in tone when people recount conversations. Observe how certain individuals act around you after spending time with others. These are fragments of truth that reveal the invisible theater of absence. Over time, a clear picture emerges, one that cannot be erased by charm or excuses. True loyalty is invisible. It does not announce itself. It does not boast. It does not need an audience. It simply exists, steady and silent, like a guardian watching from the shadows. False loyalty, on the other hand, crumbles in the dark. It needs the light of your presence to survive, and without it, it dissolves into whispers and contradictions. In the end, absence is the stage where the truth reveals itself most clearly, and those who remain faithful in that space are the ones who are truly bound to you. The measure of authenticity is never in the grand gestures performed before you, but in the unseen loyalty carried in your absence. It is in those unobserved spaces that people reveal whether their bond with you is genuine or counterfeit. Those who guard your name when you cannot hear, those who protect your trust when you cannot see. These are the rare souls who stand unmasked. And it is through recognizing this invisible loyalty that we learn to separate the fleeting performance from the eternal truth of character. Thank you.